Hello, good day everyone, and welcome to our report.
Good day everyone. Today, I will introduce to you about John Brutus Watson. Who is John Brutus Watson? According to my research, John Brutus Watson is the father of behaviorism. John was born January 9, 1878 and grew up in South Carolina. He entered Furman University at the age of 16. After graduating 5 years later with a master's degree, he began studying psychology at the University of Chicago, earning his PhD in psychology in 1903. Watson is also known for the Little Albert experiment, in which he demonstrated that the child could be conditioned to fear a previously neutral stimulus. Watson continued to grow his theory by looking at behaviorism and emotions. He studied how emotions affect behaviors and how they determine our actions. His research is still used today, and his theory continues to prove effective in psychological and educational settings. Behaviorism, according to Watson, was the science of observable behavior. Only behavior that could be observed, recorded, and measured was of any real value for the study of humans or animals. How can we apply Albert experiment in the classroom? We can apply Albert experiment in the classroom by creating a positive classroom environment to help students overcome anxiety or fear, because fearing anxiety-provoking situations such as performing in front of a group with pleasant surroundings help students learn a new associations. Thank you.
Watson's behaviorist theory focused not only on the internal, emotional, and psychological condition of people, but rather on their external and outwards behavior. He believed that the person's physical responses provided the only insights into internal action. Behavioralism, according to Watson's, was the science of observable behavior. Only behavior that can be observed, recorded, and measured was the only value of study of humans and animals. Watson's thinking was significantly influenced by the earlier conditioning experiment of Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov and now his infamous dogs. The way teacher effectiveness is defined impact how it is conceived and measured and influence the development of education policies. Teacher's effectiveness in the narrowest sense refers to a teacher's ability to improve students' learning as measured by students' gain and standardized achievement tests.
Positive reinforcement is a process that strengthens the likelihood of a particular response by adding a stimulus after the behavior is performed, while negative reinforcement also strengthens the likelihood of a particular response by removing the undesirable consequence. In additional positive reinforcement in operant conditioning, positive reinforcement involves the addition of a reinforcing stimulus following a behavior that makes it more likely that the behavior will occur again in the future. When a favorable outcome, event, or reward occurs after an action, the particular response or behavior will be strengthened. And in additional, in a negative reinforcement, negative reinforcement is a term described by B.F. Skinner in his theory of operant conditioning. In negative reinforcement, a response or behavior is strengthened by stopping, removing, or avoiding a negative outcome or adversive stimulus. So positive, adding a stimulus after the behavior is performed. So my examples are study hard to have a good grade, training to be more skillful, and the last one is giving a child a treat when he or she is polite to a stranger. Next, in the negative, so removing an undesirable consequence. So I have two examples wherein train hard to prevent failure, and the last one is drink moderately to prevent drunkenness. Question: what is the significance of reinforcement, conditioning, and rewards in the study of the behavior of students? It is significant because it is learned through conditioning and enforcement, or rewards and punishment, in a way that it may be a big help to those students for them to encourage. Giving them reward or points and punishment will help them grow as students.
So these are the 5 conditioning, 5 reinforcement, and 5 punishment intervention that can help eliminate and develop a good behavior. So in conditioned, it could be anything from the following: money, praise, recognition, good grades, and acknowledgements. On the other hand, reinforcement could be giving token as a reward, candy, getting out of an unwanted work, extra time to play, and fun activities. And lastly, in punishment intervention, there could be scolding, hand slapping or grabbing, writing a phrase over and over again like in schools, letting children do the chores, and lastly, giving them rules. Positive punishment is a form of behavior modification. In this case, the word positive doesn't refer to something pleasant. Positive punishment is adding something to the mix that will result in an unpleasant consequence. The goal is to decrease the likelihood that the unwanted behavior may occur or happen again in the future. The best example here could be scolding. Being reprimanded or lectured is something many children would like to avoid. So if we could scold, or not that to that extent that it would harm the child, scolding could be a good punishment to let them learn their lesson. In negative punishment, it involves taking something good or desirable away to reduce the occurrence of a particular behavior. One of the easiest way to remember this concept is to note that in behavioral terms, positive means adding something, while negative means taking something away. For this reason, negative punishment is often referred to as punishment by removal. Example: after 2 children get into fight over who gets to play with a new toy, the mother simply takes the toy away from both of the children. So they are learning the behavior by themselves by not playing the toy or giving the toy to one of them. In conclusion, the punishment covers the positive and the negative. These two are their goal, their specific or primary goal is to remove the undesirable behavior from a person. So it may be on the positive or negative, but their specific and the same goal to achieve is to remove an undesirable behavior.
Good day, everyone, and good day, sir. So I am here to tackle about the Little Albert experiment. So the Little Albert experiment was an experiment conducted by John B. Watson to prove that fear can be conditioned in humans other than learning. We all know that the conditioning may be achieved through rewards, punishment, and conditioning stimuli. So in Little Albert experiment, a young baby is involved and is conditioned with fear of white fluffy objects. Watson used a white rat and a loud noise to condition the conditioned response on the baby, which is fear. So in Little Albert experiment, as you can see on the illustration there above, Little Albert was fond of the rat before the experiment. He even pets the rat whenever he's near it. During the experiment, whenever little Albert comes near the rat, Watson releases a loud noise which scares little Albert. So this event took place repetitively whenever little Albert sees the rat. Until then, whenever little Albert sees the rat, he becomes scared of it, even without a loud noise. This is because he's associated the rat with the loud noise. Hence, the conditioned response, which is fear. So, after the experiment, little Albert becomes scared, not just of the white rat, but any white fluffy object that he can associate the rat with. Example is the beard of Santa Claus. So, that is the little Albert experiment. So, I am Keith again, and we are the reporters of this